Ladies and gentlemen, a new snapshot for Minecraft Java Edition 1.13 has been released. Here is Minecraft 18w20a. As we're getting ever closer to the release of Minecraft 1.13, these snapshots are going to focus more and more on bug fixes. This one is no exception, and this one focuses a lot on world upgrade problems. There have been several problems with that in the latest few snapshots. My name is slicedlime. I'm going to take you on a comprehensive tour of the changes in this snapshot. Let's start with those world upgrade issues. In the previous few snapshots, worlds created in Snapshot 18w20a specifically were not supported. They are supported in this version, so worlds will properly upgrade from that snapshot as well. A number of fixes with individual things that broke in upgrade paths too. Vines placed against the ceiling were not upgraded correctly, levers placed on the ground or ceiling were rotated when upgrading, and specifically when upgrading from Minecraft 1.12.2 there were some problems with scheduled block updates getting lost. There was also a general problem with the block entities not being upgraded properly, and the shulkers became dark purple when upgrading from that version as well. If you upgraded from even further back, from 1.7.10, then you would lose spawn egg data, and that is fixed in this version. Chests placed in earlier versions would not make the chest opening sound when opened. That's fixed in this snapshot. If you had a minecart with a command block or a spawner in it, then their data would not upgrade correctly. There was another problem with minecart with command blocks as well. They would disappear when you just reloaded a world. That's fixed in this version. And with that, let's talk about other fixes to worlds and world generation. The density of ore veins both in the overworld and the nether have been significantly upped. There was a problem with them being lower than they should be. And the cities didn't generate correctly. That is fixed in this version, and igloos would often fail to generate entirely. All of the shipwrecks in the ocean would face north, and that's also fixed. Let's talk about fixes to gameplay and some changes as well. The Trident, the new weapon in the update Aquatic, had a bunch of fixes in this version. If your Trident hit a mob, it wouldn't fall properly afterwards. That's fixed in this version. And they would also go through some mobs, like closed shulkers, withers, and ender dragons, and any invulnerable mob. That's also fixed in this version. Tridents were also not able to destroy armor stands. That's now fixed. And a loyalty Trident with the loyalty enchant, would return to a player even if that player was now a spectator. If instead you enchanted your Trident with channeling, then that channeling effect would work in a thunderstorm even if you were in the end. That's fixed in this version. If you're in creative mode, then the Trident would break blocks. That's also fixed. Fire was not spreading and going out in the correct speed. That's fixed in this version. A whole bunch of items have been renamed. That goes for seeds that are now called wheat seeds, milk that is now called milk bucket, all of the chain armor items that are now called chain mail and whatever instead of chain and whatever, and all of the spawn eggs are now called whatever it is, spawn egg instead of spawn whatever it is. Weighted pressure plates are now called heavy weighted pressure plates and light weighted pressure plates instead of weighted pressure plate in parenthesis heavy or light. And prismarine brick, stairs and slabs have now gotten their proper name without a plural S on bricks. Sleeping in creative mode has been updated in this version. You can now sleep even if there are mobs nearby if you're in creative mode, and the camera animations are nicely smoothed when going into and out of bed. If you opened chat while you had F1 toggled to disable the user interface, that would make the hotbar appear. That's fixed in this version. If you placed a solid block on top of unhydrated farmland when there was water nearby, then you wouldn't destroy the farmland. That's fixed in this version as well. And if you right-clicked an adult skeleton horse or a mule with a spawn egg, then you wouldn't spawn a baby like you should. That's also fixed. A couple of bone meal fixes. If you used bone meal to place flowers in a plains biome, then that wouldn't work. And in general, if you used bone meal, then it would stop placing plants after placing one flower. That's also fixed in this version. Under certain condition, if you gave yourself the slow fall effect, then you would be able to walk on water. That's fixed in this version. And let's stay in the water. If you were swimming and you had a block above you, you could still stand up. That's also fixed in this version. And if you named a tropical fish with a name tag under certain condition, they would disappear instead of getting a name. Fish mobs in general also had a strange shadow, and the squid ink that squids use when attacked would render sideways or lopsided. That's also fixed. Chicken riding drowned mobs would be invincible. and also not attack players. There are several fixes to this. Non-chicken jockey zombies will no longer gain a chicken when drowning, and baby drowned mobs can still spawn with a chicken but now function properly. If you killed a drowned, that didn't count towards the Monster Hunter or Monsters Hunted advancement, and the Furious Cocktail advancement didn't require resistance, but now it does. A couple of translation fixes in this version as well. Fish mobs were missing their translation strings. The debug stick text wasn't translatable, it is now. On the text side, with command and map making support, there are several changes in this version. There's now proper JSON text component, prefix and suffix support for scoreboard teams. That means that /team option, team name, and then suffix or prefix can now be used, and it actually displays properly for players on that team. Some fixes for the display of text in addition to that is that italic false in custom item names didn't make the name a non-italic, and that's fixed in this version. And in addition to that, attribute modifier tooltips used the operating system locale, and the feedback of some commands would also use the operating system locale for formatting decimal numbers instead of the game locale. Finally, one fix to packs. Texture metadata parsing would fail if the animation block was not present, and that is fixed in this version. Sadly, even before I had time to make this video, several bugs were discovered with this version. A couple of upgrade-related bugs are that command blocks will lose all of their commands when upgraded into this version, and seagrass from certain earlier snapshots will disappear and turn into air blocks in this version. Another very crippling bug that was marked as fixed in this snapshot but isn't actually fixed is that water will act like air in certain aspects in multiplayer. So in multiplayer you will fall through water. You will still not be able to breathe though, so that is fairly crippling for multiplayer games. And those bugs just go to illustrate that snapshots are developer versions, they are not highly tested, and you should be careful when you use them. If you do try it, do so with a backup of your world, or on a separate test world. Now with that said, if you do want to try it, head into your Minecraft launcher, go to the Launch Options tab and enable snapshots in there. You'll get a message, read that and click OK. Now head back to your News tab, where you should now have a latest snapshot profile in the drop-down box next to the play button. Select that and start the game. Now you'll be playing the latest snapshot version, which is currently this one, 18w20a. And that was all I had for you this time. My name is slicedlime, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.